got to talk about Meghan Markle.
Megyn Kelly has weighed in on Meghan Markle's failed plan.
Was planned from the beginning.
I hope you're having the best birthday you've ever had. Thank you for everything.
There is something that is not connecting. There is something that is not right. How can you get your age so wrong?
She's absolutely ruthless.
Megyn Kelly didn't just throw out a simple question. She brought up something that immediately caught everyone's attention.
When she was younger,
Hi, Maddie. I got an English award.
100% a bully brat.
Without any warning, she introduced a bold idea into the conversation. Is Meghan Markle really the age people believe she is? Or could there be more to the story?
Many people out there have been speculating on that Meghan Markle has lied about her age. Is she actually older?
That single remark didn't fade away quietly. It sparked widespread discussion, because when it comes to Meghan, many people feel like not everything is completely clear.
Meghan Markle's not an idiot.
I just made a little mark on my board and said, oh, there's another lie. Click. I remember when she was born, big new addition to the family, and we just have a very young sister here.
And here's the key point. This isn't only about a number on a document. It's about how her life timeline appears. Some critics say her story seems very polished, almost too perfect, as if certain parts were adjusted or smoothed out over time. When people start comparing public appearances, interviews, and older records, they claim there are small gaps that raise questions. Not solid proof of anything, but enough to keep people talking.
Live.
Why does her age matter at all? Because her age would also have an impact on her ability to have children. Because if Meghan Markle is 4 years older than what we have been led to believe, it makes it even more difficult to believe that she was able to get pregnant so quick.
What really stands out is the contrast. Meghan has built her image around honesty and authenticity. Yet, according to some observers, even a basic detail like her exact age has become something people question. They refer to old-school connections, archived photos, and overlapping timelines, suggesting things don't always match up perfectly. And through it all, Meghan continues to present herself with confidence, brushing aside the noise. Now, this is where the conversation becomes more complex. Some commentators believe this isn't just random speculation. They argue it reflects how celebrity stories are shaped over time. In high-profile circles, details can sometimes be refined, adjusted, or retold to fit a certain image.
Have told. But that would make it more difficult because that would make Meghan Markle near 50.
That doesn't mean anything misleading has happened. But it does explain why people begin to question things when everything seems too perfect. Meghan's public image has been built on storytelling, Hollywood success, royal connections, and a carefully managed presence. Supporters see this as smart branding, while critics believe it raises questions about what is real and what is presented. This tension is exactly why the topic keeps coming back. One moment that keeps fueling the discussion is an old group photo from Northwestern University. At first glance, it's completely normal, a group of students enjoying a salsa club moment from the early 2000s. But online viewers looked deeper. They began analyzing who was in the photo and when it was taken. According to some discussions, a few people in that picture are believed to be older, possibly from earlier birth years than Meghan's publicly stated age.
This is a copy of 17 magazine, and it was published in March of 1997. In it, it mentions our Megzy from Los Angeles and that she was 21 years old at the time of publication. That would make her birth year at around 1976.
That immediately sparked curiosity. People started asking how someone significantly younger would naturally fit into that same social group without it standing out. Of course, there are simple explanations, shared interests, mixed age groups, or coincidence. But once the question is raised, it tends to stick. And that's really what this situation is about. It's not just one photo or one comment. It's about how quickly small details turn into major conversations when someone is constantly in the public eye. Every image, every record, every timeline gets closely examined.
That was her goal, #goal, to marry Prince Harry.
For the longest time.
At the end of the day, nothing here confirms anything for sure. But the mix of old photos, public curiosity, and bold media questions keeps the discussion going. Some people don't just ignore it. They question it deeply. To certain critics, it feels unusual, like someone stepping into a timeline that doesn't fully match and hoping it blends in unnoticed. That's the comparison being made online. And that's why that salsa club photo keeps coming back into focus. Supporters say it's just a normal college memory. Critics see something different. To them, it raises questions about consistency, not proof, but enough to keep the conversation alive.
Yeah, she had a very clear idea of where she wanted her path to take her.
Meghan Markle has nothing.
Someday Meghan's going to realize that she's obviously missing out.
And this is where things begin to build. That photo alone might not mean much, but some commentators say it's part of a larger pattern. They point to old event listings, alumni mentions, and social circles where Meghan appears alongside groups that don't always align perfectly with her timeline. Again, nothing is confirmed, but the repetition keeps people interested. Online, people continue to revisit past appearances and ask the same question. Why does she sometimes seem out of sync with the age group around her? There are simple explanations, different friend groups, shared activities, overlapping communities, but when the same observation appears again and again, it naturally creates curiosity.
So before she met Harry, you had no doubt she was your sister.
My little sister, though, I said.
August 4th, 40 years ago, Meghan was born, and she was born as a C-section, so she was put in my arm.
And that's the key word, curiosity. This entire situation isn't built on proven facts. It's based on how things appear when placed side by side. One detail might mean nothing. Two could still be coincidence. But when people believe they see a pattern, they start connecting dots. Critics argue that public figures, especially those from Hollywood, sometimes refine their personal stories over time. That doesn't mean anything dishonest is happening, but it can make timelines appear smoother than real life. Supporters strongly disagree. They say this is simply overanalyzing normal life events. Being part of different groups at different times isn't unusual, and photos don't always tell the full story. But here's the reality. Meghan isn't just any public figure. She became part of the royal family, where every detail is examined more closely than ever. What might go unnoticed elsewhere quickly becomes headline news. That's why this topic doesn't disappear.
My little
Official
sis.
records
I would have
state that
loved to
Meghan
have had
Markle was
siblings,
born
so
on
I'm so
August
excited to be
4th,
pregnant. So Archie has
1981.
some. I believe she
Clear
had a
and
clear
straightforward.
motive for
But
writing
online
family off
discussions
because
haven't
it would
always
seemingly
accepted that.
justify
Over
and
time,
perhaps
different
delay
claims
the
have
revelation
surfaced,
of all
with
of the
some people
lies that she
suggesting
had told
alternative
the
years
royal
like
family.
1975. That's a noticeable difference, and it's one reason the topic keeps returning. If someone were actually born several years earlier, it would change how people view their life timeline, education, career milestones, and early roles. That's why critics focus on this idea, even though nothing has been officially confirmed. Supporters quickly push back. They point out that official records, interviews, and biographies all consistently support the 1981 date, and those are the most reliable sources. Still, the internet doesn't always rely on confirmed facts. It runs on repetition and speculation. Once multiple dates appear in discussions, people begin to wonder why. These rumors didn't appear overnight. Some claim that different birth years were mentioned long before Meghan joined the royal family, in forums, casual conversations, and entertainment discussions. That doesn't make them true, but it explains why they didn't disappear. Critics say having multiple rumored dates creates confusion. Most people don't face ongoing debates about their birth year, so when it happens, it stands out. But there are also simple explanations: mistakes, misinformation, or repeated online errors. Then the conversation shifted again. Around the time of Archie's birth in 2019, attention turned to the birth certificate. Initially, it reportedly included Meghan's full name. Later, an updated version showed her royal title instead. This change sparked new discussions. People questioned why a legal document would be altered. Critics saw it as controlled presentation. Others explained it could be due to royal protocol or administrative reasons.
Megyn is living a life that she's winning and she's doing all these great things, but the reality is not that. The reality is she's
stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to pretend to be a real.
And this pattern continues. Every detail, whether it's a rumored birth year or a document update, gets pulled into a larger narrative. One side sees inconsistency. The other sees normal processes being misunderstood. There's no confirmed evidence supporting alternative timelines. But the mix of rumors, repeated claims, and curiosity keeps the topic alive.
The doctor talks about both the children and listen to what she says.
So you tell me to tell you something that maybe a dozen people actually know that's going to come out very soon. Okay. Meghan Markle, the reason why you watch her interviews and she just seems off, she's owned by a pharmaceutical company. The two children that she had, they're not hers. She didn't have them with Harry. And how her and Harry met is that she's a prostitute.
Yeah.
The same applies to photos. Some critics say Meghan's older photos don't circulate as widely as expected. Usually, public figures have a mix of images, school photos, casual moments, event pictures. But they argue her photo history feels selective. Supporters respond that media outlets decide what gets shared, not individuals. Photos resurface when they become relevant. Still, the timing keeps people talking. When people feel like they're only seeing part of someone's past, it creates curiosity.
Her childhood was with me. I got her through high school. I got her through college.
And has absolutely revealed, and you're going to listen to her, she has absolutely revealed and confirmed that Rachel Meghan Markle was never pregnant, never gave birth to any children.
In the end, it all comes down to interpretation. Some see a carefully managed image. Others see normal media behavior being overanalyzed. But once people start questioning patterns, documents, photos, timelines, they keep coming back to them.
There's something that is not connecting. There is something that is not right. How can you get your age so wrong?
She's absolutely ruthless.
Critics often describe Meghan's public image as highly controlled. They believe every detail is carefully reviewed before being shown. Supporters say that's normal for high-profile individuals. But each time Meghan returns to the headlines, especially during legal matters, the same discussions reappear. People revisit old claims, question timelines, and bring up past rumors again. In today's digital world, once a rumor starts, it grows quickly. One post leads to another, and soon the conversation becomes much larger. Critics say unanswered questions create space for speculation. Supporters argue that being in the spotlight naturally leads to overanalysis. And this leads to the bigger issue, perception. In the age of social media, perception often moves faster than facts. There is no verified evidence supporting alternative timelines or hidden details about Meghan's age. Official records remain consistent. But people are naturally drawn to mysteries, especially involving well-known figures. When details seem unclear, even slightly, questions continue to grow. Interview. When everything is viewed together, rumored birth years, document changes, resurfacing photos, and repeated discussions, it's easy to see why the topic doesn't go away. Critics believe it suggests a carefully shaped narrative. Supporters believe it's the result of constant public scrutiny. But both sides agree on one thing: the conversation has taken on a life of its own. The real question is simple: why does this topic keep returning? Is it just curiosity amplified by the internet? Or do people feel there are patterns they can't ignore? That's where opinions divide, and why the debate continues. Because once a story like this gains momentum, it doesn't fade. It evolves, grows, and keeps drawing attention with every new headline. Whether it's speculation or misunderstanding, one thing is certain: the conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon. And if you think this situation is intense, there's even more being discussed behind the scenes. Other claims, other conversations, even bigger questions. So if you want to stay updated on the latest celebrity stories people are talking about, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And don't leave just yet. Check out the next video on your screen, where we dive even deeper into another story everyone is discussing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.